It's lovely to speak with you guys. I've been watching you, Kiernan, since you were on Mad Men.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
you grew up in this industry. Do you have a more favorable view of it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a very integrated experience where I sort of don't know otherwise, and I'm extremely lucky. Not really my perspective on the industry because I see the flaws, but my own personal experience has been so protected and fulfilling and enriching. I know that I have a very unique experience in that regard. Even though I've had a very like pleasant run. There are elements of this line of work and this town that regardless of your position it's just very tough. It's not always an easy job or an easy place to be, and there's much to grapple with as far as mental health goes and as far as kind of managing your work and your own personal life and vanity and now social media and all that kind of stuff. I would be lying if I said it wasn't tricky to navigate, but I do have kind of like an open heart and a warmer perspective, I think, on this town. I'm not super cynical about it, and that's probably largely due to the fact that I've just had like a really nice experience.
Diane, you've been, in so many different things, and you've also experienced like the sexualization aspect of it. And it was interesting that, having these gender roles flipped, I think it showed a whole different side of, being an abuser and also being abused.
I think the show is not trying to make a commentary about that. I think this is a pulpy, fun show with Hollywood as a backdrop, and it's a take on a movie about Hollywood in a time where it was very much a boys' club, right? And mostly men were allowed to have really bad behavior that was somehow somewhat acceptable. So now we're in 2022, and I think this show is really about these two characters and their journeys. A woman who's done and gone through every ringer, jumped through every hoop to get to where she was. And here she is trying to hold on to that and navigate the rest of what life throws away, right? Infertility, cheating husbands, what so forth. And it's about a young woman who wants us just as bad, but she is of her time, and so what was acceptable to me is not to her, right? So that's really what the show is about. What will you do to get to the top? It's fun, it's so salacious, it's pulpy. I think this is the worst case scenario. Do I think this is like the golden standard of what Hollywood is every day? No. I don't think this is the standard Hollywood behavior and treatment.
Well, and Kieran, I think that this is definitely one of your racier roles.
One would say.
I mean, I was even a bit shocked. I was like, I did not remember this happening in like Sabrina, but
No, we skipped
how
over
was
that.
it? Did you feel any hesitance?
No, not really. I think that's the interesting thing. Acting, growing up, the roles kind of shift and change, and I still get. I mean, you read a lot of scripts that are based in high school. I think until you're probably like 30, but occasionally a script like this comes along that is like gritty and gripping and edgy in different sort of ways. And yeah, I was excited. I'm not really scared of much as far as kind of the racier end of it goes. I trusted Kathleen as a showrunner, and I thought all of it was like thoughtful and tasteful. So doing it was very thrilling. It was fun to play someone different.
And Diane, I was curious, do you think that people should watch the movie before watching the show?
I don't think so. Look, I haven't seen it. I got to be honest. Like
okay.
I've never seen it when obviously when it came out, but then also once I got this and I knew it was based on that show, on that film, I didn't want to go back and watch something that was very much of that time and it was a male performance. I didn't want to replicate that because just the fact that we're women changes everything, right? It's like you can't even compare that, and Hollywood's different today than it was back then. I don't think so. I think this is a binge watch worthy
This is
fun show that has a very unique tone, of what is real and what is exaggerated.
Well, did you watch it then or no?
Yeah, I've seen the movie. I don't think it's required reading. I think that there are a couple lines in in our version that are like taken from it, so it might be kind of like a nice little rewarding thing. And I think that if you're previously a fan of the movie, this will be kind of maybe like a fun, interesting watch, and you might have a different perspective. But I think you can also go in cold and sort of see it for what it is.
Can you just say one positive thing about Hollywood, like one positive memory? Because this is kind of dark, but there is the fun side of it.
Well, we're entertainers, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think the fun part at the end of the day is that I've had a little bit of time off. I've had a couple months off, and I love watching TV shows. I love listening to music. I love watching films and seeing theater, and I love being entertained. And the fact that, people give that to me, I feel lucky. And the fact that we can give that to people, is a really cool thing. It feels nice.
The positive outweigh the negatives. Otherwise, we wouldn't want to be here, right?
Yeah.
We're lucky to be working actors. And there's nothing better than being on set and creating something with your peers. All the other stuff is like, 2% of what we actually love doing, right? I honestly don't love anything more than being collaborative on set and being this little bubble that you are for 6-8 weeks, sometimes longer, and then all the other stuff is just noise.
This isn't reality, the show.
I don't think it's the whole picture.
No.
I mean, I think also, quote unquote, Hollywood is very broad and very big, and not everything is even being pumped with like money from a Fountain Pictures. There's a lot of stuff being made that is not that. So I think it's just like, it's a much bigger picture.
Yeah, I think this is the worst case scenario of a Hollywood experience.
I would hope.
You could, right? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
2022, I would hope.
Yeah.